Welcome, college football fans, to the Scuttlebutt reaction to the SEC Championship. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Georgia just took their belt off and worn out the Alabama Crimson Tide's backside. Another way to say it is the Bulldogs beat the brakes off the Tide, and the score doesn't demonstrate the gameplay on the field. I'm just glad Ty Simpson was able to walk back to the locker room. Ty Simpson had a QBR rating of 20, while Georgia's Gunnar Stockton had an impressive 84 QBR rating. But the stat of the game was Georgia's defense held Alabama to -3 yards rushing. Yes, you heard right, -3 yards. What a pathetic performance from the Alabama offense. Will this hurt the Tide's chances to reach the playoffs? I don't think so, but let's see what others are saying. According to CBS, Georgia got its revenge against Alabama, dominating with defense and cruising to a 28-7 win in the SEC championship game to lock up back-to-back conference titles. The victory all but secures a bye to the quarterfinals for the Bulldogs, who entered the weekend ranked number 3 in the college football playoff and may have the resume to climb even higher after such a commanding showing. Now, 12-1, Georgia can argue it has beaten everyone on its schedule, with its only loss a 24-21 defeat to this same Alabama team in September. But the payback stretches beyond 2025 and even this 2-year set against the SEC's premier programs. Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer was 2-0 against Georgia entering Saturday, and Kirby Smart carried a 1-7 career mark against the Tide, with 5 of those losses coming to Nick Saban, his former boss and mentor. This performance echoed Smart's breakthrough national title win over Alabama, adding a deeper personal layer to the triumph. Georgia set the tone early when it blocked a punt to set up a short field, then paired strong special teams with a balanced offense that capitalized in the red zone. The Bulldogs led 14-0 at halftime, opened the third quarter with a defensive 3-and-out, and quickly stretched the margin to 21-0. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson spent much of the game under pressure and posted one of his roughest stat lines of the season, 19 of 39 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, worsened by the Tide's total inability to run the ball. Now attention turns to the playoff picture. Both Georgia's national championship ceiling and Alabama's positioning after a lopsided loss. Ranked number 9 entering the weekend, the Crimson Tide seems safely inside the 12-team field, but the margin of defeat will spark plenty of arguments from Notre Dame and Miami fans hoping for movement on the bubble. For now, the dominant storyline is Georgia snapping a 4-game losing streak to Alabama in the SEC championship game and claiming back-to-back league titles for the first time since Herschel Walker powered 3 straight from 1980 to 82. Smart has flipped the script on Alabama for the first time since the 2021-22 seasons, and he heads into the playoff with a team playing well enough to chase the same goals that group accomplished 4 years ago. According to SI, the Alabama Crimson Tide team deserved a spot in the college football playoff after a 10-2 regular season. Saturday's deflating 28-7 loss to number 3 Georgia in the SEC title game. That may no longer be true. With BYU's loss earlier in the day in the Big 12 championship, basically all Alabama needed to do to secure a spot in the CFP was not get blown out. Now, the Crimson Tide is entering a very fraught 16 hours as its fate is once again left in the hands of the CFP committee for the second straight season under Kalen DeBoer. If this game applies to and takes away from our resume, I don't think that's right, DeBoer said after the game. I really don't. I think the precedence has been set. I don't know how you can go into a conference playoff game when you're the number 1 seed, did all these things throughout the year, and playing in this game against one of the top teams in the country as well, how that can hurt you and keep you out of the playoff. Number 9, Alabama looked lifeless for the majority of the championship game. An ugly first half saw the Crimson Tide trailing 14-0 at the break, but it could have been much worse. The defense continually stepped up despite getting put in tough spots. Ty Simpson and the offense would get the ball to start the second half with the chance to cut it to a 1-score game. Instead, Alabama went 3-and-out 3 straight times coming out of the half and didn't get a first down in the third quarter until the final play of the period. We have a standard as an offense in general, Simpson said. Actually, we know we're the best offense in the country. Then when we don't show it, it's very frustrating, especially times when we're just a couple things away. Like I said, credit to Georgia's defense, right? They had a good plan. That's pretty much simple as that. Simpson had one of his worst performances of the season. He completed just 49% of his passes, and his interception set up Georgia's second touchdown of the game. The Bulldogs able to capitalize on good field position on all 4 of its touchdown drives, while Alabama never started a drive ahead of its own 25. Alabama finally got on the board with a 23-yard touchdown to Jeremy Bernard with 12:33 to go in the fourth quarter to cut it to 21-7. The defense turned around and got a stop, and there was some life injected back into the Alabama sideline. But a muffed punt by Cole Adams forced Alabama to start its next possession at its own 4-yard line. 4 plays later, the Tide turned it over on downs, which effectively killed any slim chances of a comeback. Alabama's defense played pretty well given the circumstances and how long it was on the field for, but it was just the second time all season that the Tide did not force a turnover. Overall, it was just a disastrous day for the Tide from start to finish. "I'm proud of our guys," DeBoer said. "I'll never question the heart, the fight, what these guys bring. You can see at the end of the game, these guys still giving everything they got, both sides of the ball, all phases. Fell short today, but proud of the season, getting to an SEC championship, getting to this spot, a lot to build off of." DeBoer was possibly the most fired up he's ever been in a press conference since arriving at Alabama in Saturday's postgame. He is adamant that his team is still a playoff team and that the health outlook of this team will look completely different 2 weeks from now, and that may be so. Alabama has proven already this season that it can bounce back from a bad performance. The team also had an abysmal game in the season opener against Florida State and then reeled off 8 straight wins, 4 against ranked opponents, before losing to Oklahoma at home. That Sooners team is definitely in the CFP field. The Crimson Tide was also without multiple key players because of injuries like running back Jam Miller, tight end Josh Cuevas, and defensive back Zabian Brown. DeBoer also mentioned that wide receiver Jeremy Bernard, running back Daniel Hill, and center Parker Brailsford are all dealing with injuries. That certainly had a big impact on the Crimson Tide against Georgia. Across Nick Saban's 17-year tenure at Alabama, the Tide only lost 1 game by more than 2 scores, 44-16 loss to Clemson in national title game. Alabama has 21-point losses in back-to-back seasons under DeBoer, both coming late in the season. The facts that were true about this Alabama team a week ago are still true. Alabama has a good resume, which includes a road win at Georgia. It finished first place in the SEC, the best conference in college football. But Saturday's performance leaves a horrible final impression for the committee to evaluate. Alabama did not look like a team capable of winning a CFP game against Georgia. Should a team be punished for losing a conference championship game when teams like Texas A&M and Ole Miss are sitting at home? Definitely in the CFP. With the same regular season conference record as Alabama and Georgia? Probably not. However, life in college football aren't always fair. Alabama, 10-3, will now be compared to Notre Dame, 10-2, and Miami, 10-2, for the final at-large spot in the field. For the second year in a row, Alabama controlled its own path to the CFP heading into the month of November. And once again, under DeBoer, the Crimson Tide could not win the necessary games to seal its own spot. Alabama fell 1 spot short last year, left on the outside looking in. Will it be the same this year? Alabama will find out with the rest of us on Sunday at 11 a.m. CT when the committee reveals the final CFP bracket. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe and come back to talk the college football selection seeding.